Both Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko will undergo Vada drug testing in the lead up to their fight in April. Now, I'll leave a link in the description below to this particular article, which gives some details about the testing protocol. And there's also a couple of quotes there from Klitschko and also from Joshua. Now, Joshua says something very interesting. And before I quote Joshua here, I can tell you that for the majority of Wladimir Klitschko's 10-year title reign at the top of the heavyweight division, he has not been undergoing random drug testing. For most of his fights, at least to the best of my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong here, but for most of his fights, he has been tested by the German boxing authority. I forget the acronym they use, but the German boxing authority have been testing Wladimir Klitschko, and they've only been testing him after fights, not before fights. This is something that Kubrat Pulev pointed out before he fought Klitschko. Pulev was subjected to random testing numerous times before the Klitschko fight, whereas Klitschko was not subjected to any testing before the fight and was only tested after the fight. And anybody who knows anything about doping at all and drug testing, they will tell you that testing somebody after a fight is a complete waste of time. Now, Klitschko in this particular article is saying, oh, I'm so pro drug testing. I'm so pro Olympic style drug testing. All the while for his 10-year reign, this guy ain't been having Olympic style drug testing. So how can he be coming out with all this spiel as if he's so for it? Why didn't he set an example and actually have Olympic style random drug testing for himself through the majority of his heavyweight title reign? These are legitimate questions, people. What the hell went on before his fight with Alexander Povetkin? How come he was so adamant that he had to use the German boxing authority to carry out his drug testing and not Povetkin's team and not Vada? You know, legitimate questions. Now, after saying all that, I'm going to quote Anthony Joshua, and this is very interesting. He says, I'm on whereabouts where they know where I am. Sorry. Let me start again. He says, I'm on whereabouts where they know where I sleep every night and where I am every day. I wish both of us were on it, but we have drug testing for 8 weeks. For the last year, they've known where I am every day, so they can randomly turn up. But not everyone's on that system. It's called ADAMS, the acronym ADAMS, whereabouts, and that stands for Anti-Doping Administration and Management System. Joshua goes on to say, listen, if I beat someone that's on dope, I'm better than I expected. If not, the drug testers will do their job. So those are the words of Anthony Joshua. And if you didn't pick up on it, the part that I'm really interested in is the part where he says, I wish both of us were on it. You know, this whereabouts scheme. So he seems to be insinuating there that Klitschko is not on the whereabouts scheme. Very interesting. If you have any more information on this, drop it in the comment section below. Anthony Joshua and most chiseled, muscular athletes are accused of being on steroids or whatever performance-enhancing drug just simply based on their physique, which is so stupid, it's unreal. And it's mostly jealous idiots who don't know anything about genetics who are coming out with all this stuff. Couch potatoes with big fat beer bellies and man boobs who are jealous of Anthony Joshua's physique. They're saying, oh, well, he must be on steroids because he's got a big muscular physique. Or not just Joshua, anybody with that type of physique. You see these idiots immediately saying steroids. Stupidity. There are plenty of people, because of their genetics, with big muscular physiques who have done it 1,000,000% naturally. Loads of people, millions of people like that in the world. There are telltale signs for performance-enhancing drugs, which I've been through. And this is not to say Anthony Joshua's clean. I don't know that he's clean. But if all you're basing him supposedly being on performance-enhancing drugs on is his physique, then you're an idiot. Yeah, that's all I'm telling you. There are more tangible telltale signs of performance-enhancing drug use. If Joshua was somebody in his 30s who had been kind of pudgy like a Tyson Fury most of his career, and then all of a sudden he turned into an Adonis at the age of 35, 36, that would be very suspicious. Yeah? If he was somebody who lacked stamina for most of his career, even though he was always in shape aesthetically, and all of a sudden in his mid-30s he's got all this stamina out of nowhere, that would be suspicious. And then if you add to that, if he also came with extra durability along with that stamina at that particular age, again, suspicious. As you get older, your metabolism slows down. You can't possibly naturally be as ripped at 28 as you are at 38. That's nigh on impossible without extremely drastic dieting, the kind of dieting that only competition bodybuilders would do. That type of dieting is not suitable for boxing. You won't get the energy that you need from that type of diet to be able to compete in a sport like boxing. You couldn't have a professional bodybuilder's diet and be effective in boxing. There's not enough carbohydrates. You wouldn't have enough energy. So at that kind of age, at 38, you can't have as good a physique. Like I'm saying, if you were in shape at 28, you can't be in better shape aesthetically at 38. That's impossible. In fact, you shouldn't even have the same physique if you're in shape at 28, I'm talking about. Because some people might be fat at 28, never trained in their life. Then in their 30s, they start training and they look better at 38 than they did at 28. I'm not talking about them kind of people. I'm talking about the people who are professional boxers who were in shape at 28. And somehow when they're 38, they're in just as good a shape aesthetically or even better. That's impossible. There may be a few exceptions, but generally speaking, no, your body is going to deteriorate aesthetically and functionally as you reach your late 30s, early 40s. So yeah, there are some telltale signs to look out for in terms of performance enhancing drug use, and many others aside from the ones I've mentioned in this video. But again, people who are just looking at physique alone and not factoring in everything else are silly. Yeah, plenty of people have good physiques naturally. A Wladimir Klitschko, 40 years old with a physique like that, pretty much the same physique that he had in his late 20s, that's a chin scratcher. That's a head scratcher as far as I'm concerned. If Anthony Joshua is still boxing at Klitschko's age and he has the same physique he has now, people, that's a problem. That's just not feasible. Okay, if Joshua's still around then and he's still ripped like he is now, something's going on as far as I'm concerned, or at least there's certainly reason to question, because you have to expect a big drop off in terms of testosterone levels and a slowdown in terms of metabolism between now, how old is Joshua now? Like 27, and when he's 37, you have to expect a big drop. Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting article. Vada testing for this, but Joshua seems to be insinuating that Klitschko will not be under the whereabouts scheme, the anti-doping administration and management system. Very interesting. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Excuse me, in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about everything I've mentioned in this video. All right, it's happening. I'm out.